Hey fam, welcome back to Tech Insights with Dylan White. Today we're going to dive into just continuing on the day two of the journey of going through Microsoft Business Premium, and we're going to highlight chapters one and two of the Let Them Theory book by Mrs. Mel Robbins. Uh, so I really want to start off with just talking about what I got out of the first two chapters of the book, and then we'll dive into what I did today, and then we'll go straight into reviewing M365 Maps, one of the best resources on the planet, and then diving into the first two absolutes of Microsoft 365 Business Premium. Let's get to it. All right, so I got out of the first two chapters of the Let Them theory is that for me, I've this is the second time I've read it cover to cover. This will be the third time I've read it, slowly and going through it with someone else and with the crowd. Um, but the first couple times, I really, and over this year since it's come out, I really focused on the first aspect I think really well, which is let them. And even Mel says it in her book, which is it's easy. It's really easy to blame other people, and it's human nature, right? We love to make excuses. The second half is what's harder, like the consistency, which is the let me take responsibility, let me step aside when I need to, let me do this, right? So you hold yourself accountable and responsible. Um, and so for the first two chapters, she really does well diving into the different innate natures of each half of the formula because it is a formula, and she says it in there, right? Some people are really good at the let me and terrible at let them, and other people are great at the let them, terrible at the let me. And really, when you start to see action out of the book and start to see great positive return on investment from the book, is when you have both acting for each other. And so that's what I'm focusing on right now, right? So we'll see where we get in 90 days, but that's what I really got out of it. So with that being said, today we're going to dive into M365 Maps so you guys can kind of see the vastness of the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. We're going to dive into three different licenses of M365 Business, not the differences, just what each one is named. So if you hear it, you're like, yeah, ding, ding, ding. We're going to dive into two features from M365 Business Premium. So I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, guys, welcome back. So what we're looking at here is the Microsoft 365 user subscription suites, otherwise in some world called SKUs, right? And the business license SKUs for Microsoft was built for small, medium-sized businesses. You can see it right under here for 300 users maximum, right? And you can see different add-on licenses, Teams Enterprise, Teams Essentials. I'm diving into those. Just under the blue banner, I'm diving into M365 Business. And so you have all these different SKUs, right? Again, licenses available, right? Basic no without teams, standard no teams, premium no teams. And we can thank Europe, and we can dive into that in a whole, hour, 2 hour long plus debate over why Microsoft had to split the SKUs out and make a teamsless SKU, whole diatribe on that. But we're going to dive into Microsoft Business Premium with Teams and just think of it as always with that. But you can see all the different features that are included, right? If you like tables, this is a version for you. I want to show you guys M365 Maps because I think it's so much better. So we looked at it a little bit briefly of just all the different features that were included yesterday, all 103 of them. Today, I want you guys to see like all the different license SKUs. This is just M365 ecosystem, right? And I'm going to dive into the business line. I'm going to dive into business premium here in a second. But you can see, you can basic, standard, premium, right? The cool thing is in M365 Maps, they have calculators, right? We've got product name changes, comparison diagrams. If you need to build a comparison diagram, you can download it, right? You can see a change log, all kinds of cool stuff. But for today, we're going to dive into business premium. So let's get to it. All right. So with that being said, we want to talk about business premium. We're going to be under Office 365 productivity applications for right now, probably for the whole month of October. Right. So the first two things we're going to dive into is activity reports and adoption score. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So what are activity reports, right? The reports in the admin center, right? Usage report, we'll dive into that later. But what is activity, right? Who can see it? right? Global admins, Exchange admins, SharePoint admins, right? This allows you that granularity of what's known as role-based access control. If you're diving into cybersecurity, have that ingrained in your head. Least privileged access is all you should matter, right? So which activity reports are available in Admin Center, right? And depending on subscription and your administrator privileges, you'll have the ability to see active users, browser usage, Copilot readiness, Copilot usage report, right? So there's two different ones, just Microsoft Copilot and then the license of M365 Copilot. Whole nother diatribe. Email activity, email apps, mailbox usage, all the way to OneDrive, Office activation, SharePoint, Teams, Viva Engage, Forms, all the different applications. What this allows us as tenant administrators, and even if we're reporting upstream to the better part of the business, even the C-suite, we can say, how has our usage, right, of M365 been across our environment? That's the whole purpose of it. Who's active, what's active, and then as administrators, we can even anonymize this report so user data isn't streamed upwhere. So love it. I love activity reports, especially fond of knowing, looking and seeing the browser reports, seeing if not who, right? Because I like anonymous reports, and it's a whole other conversation. But we can actually see where people are going, if we're doing the right thing and blocking, and, based on our organizational requirements and compliance standards, right? So let's dive into the very next one, right? Again, that's activity reports. All right, so adoption score, similar. Right? The cool thing is it has metrics, insights to help identify ways to improve productivity and satisfaction across the organization, right? We can quantify how the organization works inside of Microsoft 365, from collaboration all the way to teamwork, right? We can see different technology experience, right? Who's using what, when, the different connectivity, right? There's prerequisites, knowing such thing as admin access, right? But you also have to have Intune enabled, right? A lot of organizations have it, some still don't. Intune is device management. It's also included in Business Premium, right? And so adoption score is available for administrators with only these permissions, right? And how is it calculated? Right, based on combined scores of people and technology experience. Highest is 800, right? Communication, meetings, content, teamwork, mobility, endpoint, all the way across down to apps health, right? Products included for Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, Word, Excel. You can read it there. Viva Engage is awesome, and it's updated daily, right? So how to interpret it, and so we can see org score for this demo, right, that they're showing is 58%, right? It's pretty flat for communication, pretty high. Content collaboration is pretty mediocre, right? How could we improve that, right? Really getting the most value out of that M365 license as possible. And can we increase our Teams usage? Can we increase our, communication capability, right? Do we want to have high meeting usage, right? What do we actually want there? We can just see, what the different adoption is. So I think it's really, really cool features just to kind of show upstream where our adoption is, what we need more of, what we need less of, right? So with all that being said, tomorrow we're going to start this session diving into these two live inside M365 Admin Center. So thank you guys again for being along for the ride with me. I'm going to leave you a little bit on a fourth wing note, because I'm continuing that. If you guys love dragons, if you guys love seeing, protagonists, female protagonists, it's definitely along those lines. I finished Fourth Wing last year, rereading it, so I can start reading the third book, which is Onyx Storm. I finished Iron Flame. I'm re-listening to Iron Flame, and let's just say, if you guys like things like Katniss Everdeen, and The Hunger Games, it's all along the same lines. So I'm super excited to continue it. If you guys have any thoughts, fan fiction, love to hear it. So hopefully get to see you guys on the other side. See you guys tomorrow.